Hey everybody, today Rahdo runs through the Boards and Bits Traveler, which is a new travel game bag. It's going to be going on Kickstarter in about a week. I've got an advanced prototype here, and I'm just going to spend a little bit of time showing you just how awesome this is. This is a very, very cool bag with some fairly unique features. Now the main thing is, the way it's designed, there is this central dividing board that you can use to basically set up how much space in this bag you want to devote to boards versus game pieces. And once you've put all the boards in, you can snugly put them up against the wall so they stay tight and don't shuffle around and whatnot. Now, the bag itself is reinforced with, I'm not really quite sure what, some kind of PVC, it feels like some kind of hard plastic. So it is a tough bag. It's surrounded on all sides while still being fairly light. I weighed it. The basic bag by itself is about 6 pounds, give or take. I don't know if I necessarily trust my scale. So not very heavy. And while the bag you can just use like a regular bag and go on ahead and slip some games in. You could probably fit 2 or 3, depending on their width, big box games if you're just using this to travel to game night and you want to go down to the local game store, but you're just going to throw this in the back of your trunk and you're worried about the stuff taking a beating. This is good for that because that scared the crap out of the dog. I do all that, I bring it back out, and the box totally fine. The bag absorbs all the damage. But that's really not the intended use of this bag. This is a travel bag. This is for when you're going on the road, when you're going to a family reunion or whatever it might be, and you want to take a bunch of games. Because the whole point is, don't take these big gigantic boxes of air, just take the good stuff inside. So the notion is that you could fit 10, 20, 30 games in this bag. They'll be very well protected with this tough material, and the bag is actually designed specifically to be carry-on size. So you can carry this onto any plane and put it in the overhead and just walk around with the back. Now, if you go to the website, which there's a link for it down in the show notes, they've actually got some different samples of how much you can stuff in here, different examples and whatnot. I'm going to put this to the test myself. I'm just going to start grabbing games off my shelf, stuffing them in here. I'll use the divider as it's supposed to be so that all the boards go against one side and the pieces go in another. And I haven't actually done this yet. I'm just going to give it a quick test and we'll see how it goes. So just enjoy the show, folks. I'll be right back. Okay, everybody. So, now this was far from scientific. The main thing, oops, and I missed a piece here. The main thing you would want to do is, along with purchasing this, you just want to go down to your local grocery store and buy a big old container full of, big refrigerator bags, those Ziploc bags, so that every one of your games can just go into its own bag. I don't have any of those, but that's what I would have done. But without that, just almost completely randomly, I'm stuffed full. As you can see, back here, all the boards. In the very back, there's a pocket for all the manuals. So they all go here. Then I've got all the boards and all the player things, or player boards and actual game boards here. And in terms of boards, you can get really big ones. Like here's Navigador. That's about the maximum size. I did actually check. I was able to get a Railways of the World map to fit in here comfortably also. Let's go ahead and slip this back in. And so anyway, so all these boards are tucked in tight. They are not going to be slipping and sliding around. There we go. And then in the main pack, I've just got, bags full of games. And like I said, in an ideal world, these would not be all separate bags. These would, I've got all my stuff bagged into separate stuff, but then I'd put them all in one big mega bag. I just stuff these in here, and I just threw some little card games on top, closed her up. Now, either this is a great carry-on, or you can go on ahead and make it checked bags. And you know how checked bags on a plane can get pretty beat up. But this thing absorbs all the blows let's see. Yeah, I mean, these things were right on the top. They bore the brunt of my beatings and were totally fine. And all things considered, I am now going to go on the road with, man, I can't even put them all in frame. What is this? Nations and the Dynasty expansions. Forenza, Stone Age and Style as the Goal expansion. La Granja, Oceanos, Yido, SOS Titanic, Navigador, Hanabi, Handler de Karabic, Motainai, and Harbor. What is that? What is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games. And I wasn't even being careful about packing. And I'm ready to take all these on the road with me right now. It comes with a strap. Of course, I've got plenty more room for games if I'm less worried. Or, you know, you've got like your, what do you call it, your passport slot over here. You can put more, you know, your toiletries or whatever over there. Maybe even some clothes if you're traveling light. And otherwise, I am ready to go on the road with the Boards and Bits Traveler. And that's it, folks. That's what this package is all about. And I gotta say, I love this thing. I get prototypes for stuff all the time, for games I do run-throughs for Kickstarter campaigns, and you know, often I'll end up sending them on to the next reviewer and whatnot. I'm gonna have to do this with this thing tomorrow. I'm gonna have to take it down to, and I'm so sad. I do not want to lose this. I love this bag. Jen and I, we are always talking about making big road trips. And this is perfect for that. This is exactly what I'd want to take so that I do not have to compromise on the size and scopes of games I would carry along. Instead of just being limited, you know, normally you think of travel games, you're just thinking of little stuff like this. But you don't have to be restricted with this, and you can feel confident and secure because this thing can take a beating. If you want to know more about the building materials and all that, you can go check out the link that's, you know, down in the show notes down below. Oh, there's a little slot here so you can actually make a note of what all the games you put in here are. Padded on the inside, hard on the outside, lots of room for games, and that's it, folks. The Boards and Bit Traveler. Now, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, as always, please let me know. Otherwise, I hope you have a very, very nice day. Talk to you later. So long. Oh, bye-bye.